is my belief? Like, you still, what is my belief though?
The belief this is sounds so like meta and gay, but it's like the belief is that belief is a good thing, kind of, or that belief is um ever necessary.
Oh
It's
well,
like,
I don't think
and I
that.
know that you say you don't think that because you say there's a duality between belief and non-belief, but then this comes back down to what I keep saying, which is, okay, but the belief should never exist there in the first place. There shouldn't be a duality of belief and non-belief. There should be no belief. There should be zero belief. There should only be efficiency. There should never ever be belief independent of efficiency. The belief should only exist insofar as you can visibly see efficiency. So like the belief should never exist first. It should always be efficiency first, and then belief can arise out of that efficiency. But if you're ever believing without efficiency, you're wrong, and you should not be doing
Believing without efficiency. Um, hmm. That's pretty meta. That's pretty meta.
that. Yeah.
That's a big that's a big leap of faith you're asking me to make.
Yeah, it is, but I'm telling you, when you get to the other side, good fuck, it feels good. Good fuck, it feels incredible.
So act only for the efficiency and completely disregard desire and belief.
Exactly.
That's some Taoist shit, isn't
It
it?
is. It is.
I feel that's
It is the way.
Taoist.
It is literally the way.
What is it? Freed from desire, I see the path. Isn't that like in the Tao Te Ching or
Yeah.
something?
Let me
Yeah.
give you a little bit more to chew on right before we go here. So, um, basically, here's where that inevitably leads. And you don't have to go to this place first if you want. I would advise exploring it yourself. But here's where it leads to me. I'm inevitably led to the point that what I am, so God, right? Okay, I'll start with this. So you have Zix, right? And what a Zix is anything which is alive, right? Okay, so then okay, so then you have ASICs, and now ASICs are frameworks, right? And frameworks are what make up everything. So everything which exists is a framework, right? Even a human being is a framework, right? And then at the last level, you have Exasic, and that is God. That is the top level. That is everything which exists. So now to go over all three and what they mean. You are a Zix. I am a Zix. Right now, this thing speaking, this is a Zix. And the experience of me speaking and me thinking, right, the thoughts that go through my head as I'm speaking, all those are frameworks, right? And then basically what's happening is Exasic, or the energy or the way, runs down these frameworks. And frameworks are the path of least resistance for the will to taste the best thought texture. So, in other words, frameworks, people, so like, for instance, here's a good example of this. I'll go back to the Republicans and Democrats because it's a super easy example. Someone who is on the left, a Democrat, right? They will always choose to vote with people on the left because for them, the path of least resistance or the way to taste the best thought texture is to agree with everyone else who agrees with them so that they can form an in-group and they can continue existing with that identity, right? So for those people, their frameworks lead them down that path. And the whole world, even a rock tumbling off of a cliff, that is just the will to taste the best thought texture, right? Because initially, in the very beginning of existence, there was nothing. And then God decided to exist. And that deciding to exist was the decision to taste every single thought texture, right? Because the decision to be every single framework. God is the expansion out of every single framework. And then time, or the present moment, is God running down those frameworks, right? And God is running down those frameworks and he's experiencing the thought texture which results from the framework. So like the experience of us Zix right now, and we have our frameworks, or we have our ASICs that we're experiencing right now. All of these feelings are just God running down the frameworks in the path of least resistance to taste the best thought texture. Every single thing, every rock falling off a cliff, every cow, every person is just a result of frameworks optimizing themselves into the best possible way to result in the best thought texture. And everything anyone you've ever met does, everything any animal you've ever does, you can see that what they're doing is they're just optimizing their life to taste the best thought texture, to feel the best that they possibly can. That's what everything is. That's what the whole process of existence is. All of it is to taste the best thought texture, to arrange the frameworks in the best way to taste the best thought texture. And whenever you realize that, you become God. You get possessed by this feeling of optimization. You are pure, unbridled optimization. You are the optimizer of the frameworks. You change everything to be in the perfect way. You don't care whether things go right or wrong. You don't have any of the human perspectives of good or bad. All you are is the experience, the beauty, the feeling, the notes played. So like if you imagine the frameworks as instruments, right? And you imagine like you are like the physical matter which makes you up is the framework, and those are an instrument. And then the note they play is the thought texture. And what you're experiencing right now is God running down the frameworks, running down the instruments, and playing all their notes, playing all their music. And your experience right now is that music, that beautiful song, the song of existence, the song of existence. and you then become possessed by pure efficiency. You feel the fire, that unbelievable rot fire in your stomach, and you just want to use it for good. You just want to move forward, be one, be the way, be the watering can, and exist.
You're like, if I was a weaker person, bro, you could have just like hypnotized. Like you're on some preacher, like Pentecostal preacher shit right now, bro.
And
Like
whenever I
chill
get in
the
front of